skillet, put on the lid. Mamma's gonna bake a little shortening bread. Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread. Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Her little baby loves shortening bread.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Jeebies, and welcome to another episode of Phoebe Gets Baked. Today we're going to be making lemon tartlets. Woo! Something fun and tasty to impress whoever is in your isolation circle with you. There are two main components to our lemon tartlets today. The first is our base, which is made of, you guessed it, shortbread! Shortbread, which we made in episode 1. And the second is going to be a lemon curd, which I'm going to teach you how to make today. So, remember that shortbread I saved from episode 1? Here it is. Took it out of the freezer, letting it thaw. Otherwise, take it out of the fridge if you kept it in the fridge, or if you're making it fresh, that totally works too. Here are our ingredients for our lemon curd. First, 2, you guessed it, lemons. Hey, wait, I actually do know how to juggle. Freshman year of college, my roommate was a juggler, and he taught me a little bit, and clearly I have not been practicing. Our second ingredient, butter. It's an ingredient in everything I make. I love butter. Perhaps an unhealthy amount. Third ingredient, eggs. So we're actually only going to be using the yolks for this recipe, and that's no yolk. And our final ingredient for our lemon curd, sugar. You need to make this lemon curd over a bain-marie. Basically what that means is we're just going to be cooking our lemon curd over really gentle heat. So, what we do is we take our pot, and we're going to put it on the stove, and we're going to bring our water up to a simmer. So while your water's starting to heat up, you can get your ingredients into the bowl. There's different ways you can separate eggs. The way I do it is with my hands. And a lot of people tend to crack eggs on the side of a bowl or the side of a pan when they're making them. Everything I've ever learned says not to do that because you run more of a risk of breaking the yolk that way. So it's actually better to tap it on a flat surface and then kind of make a protuberance, in the words of Michael Scott, a protuberance, so you can crack the shell open.
The protuberance.
We take our yolk, drop it in, 2 more. When you do use your hands, the most important thing is to wash them after so you don't make yourself and everyone else sick. So now we have our egg whites here. We don't need these for the recipe, so... Oh, it's gone. Anyway, next, lemons. So I'm gonna zest one of these lemons. I already washed these, and we're literally just gonna... It's not exciting to watch. Just gonna zest them. Get all of that good zest, that good into the bowl. Because the best lemon flavor is gonna come from the zest. We want to do about 1/4 cup of lemon juice, which typically is around 2 lemons. We do this into a bowl first, so we'll actually get it all in here, run it through a sieve, measure it, make sure it's right, and then put it into the bowl. Alright, so we've juiced the lemons. Make sure you're keeping an eye on your water. Mine's now simmering. And we're going to run this lemon juice through a sieve into our 1/4 cup measure. See how much we got. And you just want to get every last drop of lemon juice you can. And wow, almost as if by design, it is a perfect 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I look like a real professional, I know what I'm talking about. Right in there. 1/4 cup of butter. I would say just to make it easier, cut it into a few different pieces. So it doesn't take as long for it to melt. But I've done it both ways when I'm lazy. I've done it both ways. Hey! Oh, that's not true. I'm a straight woman. So we're gonna put a cup of sugar into here. Remember this from episode 1? Leveling! So that's a cup of sugar right there, going in. Oh my god, I think I just inhaled sugar. It was in the air. Alright. So now that all of our ingredients are in our heat-safe bowl, all we need to do is put it over our pot of simmering water and whisk it for 8 to 10 minutes. Let's whisk. Simmering water, heat-safe bowl, whisking. Ooh, don't get your synthetic hair in the curd. See how it's all smoothed out? And now I'm just going to take some plastic wrap and we're going to cover the curd and actually push the plastic wrap, or foil, you can use foil too, down to the surface. And we're going to let this sit until it comes to room temperature. Now we can talk about two things we want to do before we start working with our shortbread. One is to preheat our oven. We're going to preheat our oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. The second thing we're going to do is, if you have a muffin or cupcake tin, and we want to grease it so that our shortbread doesn't stick, I always grease with vegetable shortening. There's nothing worse than having these beautiful lemon shortbread tartlets and you can't get them out of the mold. Now that our oven is preheating and our muffin cupcake tin is greased and ready to go, we're going to clear off our surface and work with our dough, just like we did in episode 1. Alright, cleaned off our surface, we got some flour so we can work with our shortbread dough. Just like in episode 1, give a good amount of flour to that surface that you're working on. So just take your dough out, grab your rolling pin, you know the drill. You're a professional. So just roll out your dough, about a 1/2 inch thick. I'm a mess. This is why I wear an apron. So what you're going to do is grab a glass that roughly matches the size of your muffin tin and use that as your guide. That's what I always do. I don't have molds or anything for this. I have found the perfect glass. This very wine glass fits an entire bottle of wine in it, which during these Corona-y times is a necessity. So we're going to use this. And basically what you do is push down. There you go, it's that easy, it's like making a cookie. So you want this to be as close together as you can get it every time you push your mold down so that you're wasting as little dough as possible. The great thing about this mold is once you're done, you just fill it up with an entire bottle of wine and there you go, that's your Monday night, Tuesday night, whatever night. We don't really know what weekdays are anymore at this point. Scoop it up. Tuck it in. Time for bed. If it breaks or tears, just patch it up. And you can even use these bits. I just tore mine a little bit. These are going to be filled with lemon curd, so you're not going to see what the inside looks like anyway. And then we just keep going. So we're going to keep going, and then we will roll out whatever's left and maybe cut out 1 or 2 more. So our shortbread made exactly 12, which is pretty perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, you guessed it, dock our dough. So just like last time, we're going to take a fork, put some holes in it, because we're actually going to put this in the oven without the curd at first, and we don't want it to puff up. Unlike with our shortbread cookies, it doesn't really matter what your docking looks like, because nobody's going to see it. Before we put these in the oven, we're actually going to chill them in our freezer for 15 minutes just so they get set. Into the freezer! This is just easy. You just pour your curd in. And we're going to run it through our sieve. Look how beautiful! And there we go! Beautiful lemon curd. That's ready to work with. We're going to put that aside. We already docked it, so now it can go right into our oven, which as a reminder is at 325 degrees. Alright, so our shortbread just came out of the oven, and we're going to fill these up almost to the top. Look at that beautiful consistency of that lemon curd. Ooh. And that's a great reminder. Before you start filling these, you're going to preheat your oven to 350. It was already at 325, now we're gonna up it a little bit more to 350. If any of your shortbread puffed up a little bit, take that fork, you can dock it a little more to let some of that air out. And we're just gonna go one at a time here and fill them up. You can see how messy I am. I'm messy. Alright, so I just finished putting the lemon curd into our tartlet cases, cleaning up any of the lemon curd that I spilled, because it will burn in the oven and not be pleasant to smell. So it's going to go back in the oven, which is at 350 degrees for 5 to 8 minutes. Alright, so our lemon tartlets just came out of the oven. They're going to look like they're not set because the lemon curd is going to set as it cools. Once they've cooled to room temperature, you can pop them in the fridge. And once they've cooled, I would say probably about an hour, they should be safe to take out. So I will check back in with you then. Alright, so our lemon tartlets have set. Now it's time to remove them from our muffin tin, get them onto a plate, and then we're just going to put some powdered sugar over the top to make them look nice and pretty, and then we're all done. So I'm just going to do this for all of them. Go in with my knife, get them to release. They should come right off. If not, next time you make these, you'll grease your pan better, I promise. So they're all out, and now I'm just going to take a little powdered sugar, just like we did with our shortbread cookies, and just give them a good sprinkling because it makes them look pretty. Alright, so that's our lemon tartlets with our shortbread crust. You can follow me at Phoebe Jeebies NYC on Instagram and possibly on TikTok. I just started that, so we'll see if that's actually going to be a thing. And if you bake this at home, please take pictures, share it with me, tag me for my Instagram handle. Use the hashtag Phoebe Gets Baked. I'm so excited to actually see if people will bake along with me. That's really what I want to see, people trying out my recipes. Thanks so much for tuning in, and let's keep getting baked together.
Lemon tree very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the
So we're actually going to be using the eggs for this recipe, the egg yolks.
Take it again.
lemon tree very pretty, and the lemon flower is
Oh yeah.
but the fruit
The whole time.
the poor lemon is
In the words of Sally Field, the whole time, roiling, boiling, toiling, doiling. That would be the ideal tool. That'll be the ideal tool to use. But if you don't have it,
when she smiled the stars rose in the sky.
sex sells.
We passed that summer lost in
Nope.
love beneath the lemon tree. The music of her laughter.
I'm just a big, dumb idiot in a wig with hairy legs. Charming. This will be for the credits.